React Native just changed everything for app development, and I'm about to prove it to you in the most insane way possible. So have you ever wondered how some people seem to build million-dollar apps overnight while we're still struggling with basic coding tutorials? Well, what if I told you that you do not need to write a single line of code? Not anymore. So in this screenshot, you can see proof. This grocery list app is pulling in over $10,000 last month from the App Store. Listonic is a smart grocery shopping app that helps users organize their shopping lists and discover deals at nearby stores. It's been downloaded millions of times and generates serious revenue every single month. And here's the crazier part. I just recreated this exact same app using nothing but AI prompts. So no coding, no debugging, no pulling my hair out over syntax errors. I literally just described what I wanted and AI built the entire application for me. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through my exact process of how I used AI to clone a $10,000 per month app step by step. You're going to see how React Native combined with AI tools can turn anyone, even complete beginners, into app developers. So that by the end of this tutorial, you are going to have your own fully functional grocery app ready for the App Store. And more importantly here, you're going to understand how to use this same process to build any app idea you have. Let's dive in. So just a quick note, later in the video, I'm going to be telling you more about how to submit the app that we're going to build here to the App Store and Google Play Store in minutes. If you can't wait, that's totally cool. Just check out the link in the description below to my school community for more information. Every app starts the same way, with a blank slate, and how you set that up matters more than most people think. If the base project is messy or misconfigured, you end up fighting small issues the entire time. So now our initial goal is to get a clean, correctly configured React Native plus Expo project in place before we touch any real functionality. We'll be using the Windsurf IDE for this, along with its built-in AI agent called Cascade. And for the model, we're running Claude Sonnet 4.5, and instead of manually wiring everything up, we're going to let Cascade handle all the heavy lifting for us, while we focus on defining what the app should look like at a high level. We will create a base project here with the right Expo configuration and some placeholder data. This will give us a visual starting point and helps confirm that Expo SDK 54 and EAS are set up correctly from the very beginning. To do that, we'll prompt Windsurf with something like this. Please create a React Native plus Expo application that utilizes Expo SDK 54 and EAS. Create a mobile app with 3 sections, a dashboard, cart, and settings. Add placeholder data for a grocery list shopping app, but don't build the actual functionality yet. And in my school community, you can also find a list with all of the prompts that I'm about to use in this video to build out this app, and also for each video on my channel, by the way. So link is added below. After sending the prompt, Windsurf generates the project for us. And you can see here that the app is already up and running with the correct Expo configuration. We have our 3 main sections in place: the dashboard, the list, and the settings screen. Navigation works, the layout is visible, and everything runs cleanly inside Expo. We're going to be adding more sections and real functionality in the next steps, but for now, this is exactly what we want. It's a solid baseline. So from here on out, we're building on top of something stable instead of fixing setup mistakes along the way. Before adding more logic, we need to check how the app actually looks on our screens. Even when functionality works, a clunky or outdated design can make everything harder to use and harder to improve later. So this is a good point here to tighten out the layout, the spacing, and overall look so the app already feels solid before we move forward. So now we are going to focus purely on design here. And what I want to happen is to give the app a more modern look and improve the overall user experience so future features feel intentional instead of bolted on. Using Windsurf again, we'll ask Cascade to update the visual style of the app. Rather than guessing design choices ourselves, we'll just let it take inspiration from modern shopping cart and grocery list apps and apply similar UI and UX patterns to our project. So here's a prompt we're going to use as a starting point. Please update the app's design and give it a more modern look. Get inspiration from modern shopping cart apps similar to ours, and then apply the same design and UX. And after sending the prompt, Windsurf updates the interface while keeping the existing structure intact. And there you have it. As you can see, we now have a solid visual foundation. From here, adding real functionality will be much more natural. Most grocery and shopping apps feel fine at first, but they fall apart once you actually start using them. Lists get messy, items pile up, and there's no easy way to organize things by store or price or category. And that's usually the point where people just abandon the app altogether. So in this part, we're going to focus on building the one feature that actually makes this useful in real life: the shopping cart and the list functionality. I'm going to expand the app's core behavior by replacing all of our placeholder data with real interactive lists. I want users to be able to create custom shopping lists, add items to them, and organize everything in a way that makes sense when they're actually planning a trip to the store. I'm also going to connect this directly to the dashboard so the most recent list shows up right away and can be opened with a single tap. So here's the exact prompt I'm using in Windsurf to build this part of the app. Build the shopping cart/list functionality, clear out all placeholder data, and create a widget in the dashboard that shows the recent shopping list created. And whenever the user clicks it, it should go to the shopping list and cart section, then open the modal of that specific list. Users should be able to create custom lists as well and add filters to categorize which stores, quantity, the price, and other proper filters for the list. And once Windsurf is done building this, we can immediately test it inside the app. I'll create a new shopping list here, and I'm going to name it Hardware Essentials, and then I'm going to set the store as Hardware Store. After that, I'm going to add a new item called Hardwood, set the price to 5, and then assign it to the flooring category. Then I'm going to add another item called Varnish and categorize it under Essentials. So everything saves correctly. As you can see, the list updates in real time, and the dashboard widget reflects the most recent shopping list. Right now, the app is already far more practical because it's just no longer static. It responds to real input, it supports organization, and behaves like something someone could actually rely on when shopping. Once shopping lists start growing, things can get chaotic fast. A list of 2 or 3 items is easy to manage, but once you're dealing with different stores and prices and categories and quantities, scrolling through everything becomes annoying. So in this part, we're going to focus on making the shopping cart easier to navigate by adding proper filters and search options. So I'm going to expand the existing shopping list so users can quickly sort and find what they need instead of manually scanning every single item. And the idea here is to let people filter their lists by things like category, store, or price, and also give them a search bar so they can instantly locate a specific item. So here's the exact prompt I'm using in Windsurf to add this kind of functionality. Now please expand the list by adding filters and search options. Make it comprehensive yet easy to understand for the user. After Windsurf applies the update, we're going to test it by opening an existing shopping list. And right away, I can see new filter options available inside the list view. At this point, the shopping cart is no longer just a basic list and more like a real planning tool. Users can organize, filter, and search without friction, which makes the app far more usable in everyday situations. So are you ready to turn this app built by AI into cold hard cash? Because in this video, you will learn how to build an app with AI in React Native. But here's what separates the builders from the actual moneymakers, publishing and monetizing that app. While most people stop at, oh, look, I built something cool, you are about to discover how to turn your AI creations into a real income stream. Inside my exclusive school community, you get step-by-step walkthroughs of submitting and publishing your AI React Native app to the App Store in minutes, not months. My complete AI app profit system. It's the exact blueprint that I use to build and monetize apps and a whole lot more. This isn't just about building apps anymore. It's about building a business. And if you're genuinely interested in making money online, please do go ahead and check out that link in the description below and join my exclusive school community to secure your spot. One thing people do over and over when shopping is buy the same items again and again. So milk, eggs, cleaning supplies, snacks. It's usually the same pattern every week. So instead of making users rebuild their lists from scratch every time, I'm going to add a smart suggestion feature that services those repeat items automatically. And what I'm doing here is building a smart suggestion widget directly into the dashboard. And this widget looks at the items users add most often and then suggests them up front so they can add frequently purchased items to their cart with a single tap. Here's the exact prompt that I'm using in Windsurf to build out this feature. Please build the smart suggestion feature, create a widget in the dashboard that shows suggestions of items that you frequently buy so you can easily add them in the cart. And once Windsurf is done, we'll head back to the dashboard to test it out. And I can see a new Smart Suggestions widget here showing items based on my previous shopping behavior. And when I tap one of these suggested items, it gets added directly to an existing shopping list without any extra steps. So this small addition actively helps users build their list faster, especially for recurring purchases. It's one of those features that doesn't look complex, but really does end up being something people rely on every time they open up the app. And once a few shopping lists are in place, it becomes really easy to lose track of how much money is actually being spent. You add items here and there, and prices stack up quietly, and before you know it, the total is higher than you expected. So that's the gap that I want to fill in next. So I'm thinking of adding a budgeting widget directly into the dashboard. I also want my dashboard to answer a few simple questions the moment someone opens up the app. Something like, how much have I spent recently? Instead of making users calculate totals themselves, the app should just pull that information automatically from their existing lists and keep it updated as things change. To do that, I'm going to ask Windsurf to build a dashboard widget that calculates spending based on the user's recent shopping activity. So here's the exact prompt we're going to use. Now create a widget in the dashboard that shows budgeting stats for the user based on their recent lists. Make sure this updates extensively. And after the widget is generated, we can now head back to our dashboard to see how it behaves. And right away, we can see a new budget and spending section here showing me totals derived from my shopping lists. To make sure it's actually wired correctly, I'll try to delete all existing lists, then I'll just create new ones with different items and prices. And as I add items here, remove them, or change quantities, the widget actually updates immediately, and the total spent adjusts in real time based on whatever is currently in the lists. And that tells me the data connection is solid and the widget isn't just displaying static numbers. The dashboard is now actively responding to the user instead of just showing information. And this is definitely something that can help users stay aware of their spending without adding extra steps or complexity. So after using the app for a bit, one pattern becomes obvious. Most shopping lists repeat the same items over and over. Groceries, household essentials, basics that you buy every week. And typing those items manually every time slows things down and adds friction that really just doesn't need to be there. A catalog solves that problem by giving users a ready-made starting point. So I'm going to build a new section called Catalog that acts like a shared item library. The idea is to include a wide range of common foods and general household items that users can quickly browse and add to their lists. And this section is not meant to replace custom lists. It's there to make list building faster and more convenient. So to build this out, I'm going to prompt Windsurf with something like this. Please create a new section containing a wide variety of common foods and general items. Link this to the list builder, whereas users should be able to easily add these items to the list. Make this as comprehensive as possible. And after the build is done with that prompt, let's open up the new catalog section here and scroll through it. The catalog is fully populated with common grocery items and everyday essentials, all clearly organized. So if we tap an item, it gets added directly to the active shopping list without extra steps or confirmation screens. This feature removes a lot of repetitive work. No need to rebuild the same grocery list every week, and users can just rely on the catalog as a shortcut. So now, if you've ever opened an app late at night and immediately felt blinded by a bright screen, you already know why this feature matters. It's dark mode, and dark mode isn't a bonus anymore. It's something users actively look for, especially in apps they use regularly. I'm going to add a dark mode toggle so my users can switch between light and dark themes whenever they want. And this keeps the app comfortable to use in different environments and makes it feel more modern overall. And to do that, I'm going to send Windsurf this prompt. Please create a dark mode theme or button for the application. That's it. And after that, let's try to switch the app to dark mode, and you can see here that everything updates right away. The dashboard, shopping list, the widgets, and all the catalogs all adapt cleanly, and nothing feels broken or out of place. Now for this part, I'm just going to use the app the way someone normally would, and let's see how it holds up. So we're going to move through each section here, create a new shopping list, and start adding items to it while watching how everything updates. All right, so let's create a fresh list. Add a few items with different categories and prices. And right away, you can see our dashboard reacting to those changes. Our totals update, widgets refresh, and nothing is delayed or out of sync. I'm going to keep clicking around just to make sure that nothing breaks. The budget widget, smart suggestions, catalog, and grocery list all respond the way that we would expect them to. And there you have it. We now have a perfectly working real app, and everything works together smoothly and it's ready to be used. All right, that is the full build, a real grocery app from a blank project to a working product all inside Windsurf. And everything you saw here actually runs. So if you want to keep going, and I'm hoping you do, the next step is shipping this to the App Store and Play Store using EAS. And that's exactly what I'm going to break down inside my School community. If this helped you out, please do hit like, subscribe for more builds like this, and drop a comment if you want me to turn another app idea into a full walkthrough. I'm happy to do that. I'll see you at the next video.